League on their debut. Now, let's move away from that. Let's get to some financial literacy. Now, more often, we've seen sportsmen and women say after retiring that, you know, they need financial help. They need to be helped, that they did not invest properly. So I had a chance of speaking to John Washira from Fisco, and he says that they are trying to roll out some financial training to sportsmen in the country. They began with rugby. They will be going to football, basketball, and of course, volleyball and other sports later on in the year, to make sure that they teach sportsmen and women the importance of investing in sports early on before they retire. This is that conversation that we had.
The main reason we are doing this is because athletes and sportsmen in general have a very short career, unlike other careers. So before you know it, you're already in your 30s and, you know, you're wearing out, and young people are being born every day. They're coming to replace you. So it is important that we sit and have this discussion about how to invest within that short career so that it benefits you even after the career. Fisco Africa is in the space of real estate, and that's where we focus our financial advice, because real estate can offer both financial and stability even after your career for sports is over. So that's why we are very keen on partnering with other sport-minded organizations to make sure that we are giving these athletes and these sportsmen enough advice so they can make the right choices during their careers.
Mm-hmm. We have seen you guys in rugby mostly. Why rugby? Why have you not gone into football, basketball, volleyball?
I think we want to go into majorly all sports, but according to us, rugby is a bit more organized than most of the sports. You've seen what has happened with the famous Safaricom Sevens. You've seen what has happened with the Legends games that are coming. We had one last year. We have one tomorrow. So I think based on how organized rugby is and how huge the fraternity is, not only in Kenya but even across the world where you find Kenyans, then that is why we have really focused on rugby for now. But in the coming year, you'll see us more in football and also in other sports trying to do the same thing.
For a very long time, we've seen former athletes, in general, sportsmen and women, after they retire, that is when they come back and say that, I need some financial help and this. Why is it that they take, such a long time? Or rather, you say that, sports is such a short career that, you may retire even when you didn't know that you are going to retire. Why is it that, they come back for help after getting out of sports?
Majorly is because of financial planning. And I think sports can come with a lot of popularity. So you become very popular and you have to maintain a certain kind of life. So if you're not careful and you're not properly guided, then during the short career that you have, they always say pesa huisha. So before you know it, then your career is over. Maybe you have an injury, you've grown a bit old, then you didn't plan for what to do after sports. So that's why most of the sportsmen actually struggle. So what we are doing is just trying to create awareness and telling them, yes, you can start your journeys as early as when you start playing mainstream, when you start making money with the sport, you can start investing, you can start owning a home at that tender age. And then once you retire, then you'll have an asset and you can use this asset to even do other business with the asset as collateral. So that's, I think, majorly is just financial planning is what lacks, and the financial advice, and that's why we are passionate about this space.
Mm-hmm. Most athletes, most sportsmen and women, when you talk to them when they're in their prime, there is that notion that bado nitakuwa kwa hii game ama kwa hii in whatever field they are. Wanasema, like, I will still be here for a very long time. When you speak to them, how do you manage to convince them that you will not stay in this for long?
Mostly is what we are planning to do strategically as a company is to start walking them the journey, to making good financial decisions. And once you walk with the person along the line with proper placement of your content that is directed to these athletes, then within time they will see the sense. And I'll tell you, everyone wants to own something. Everyone wants to own a property. Everyone wants to own a house. So it is very bad when you have athletes who are brands by themselves. They've built a name around the sport that they play, only for them to come and start asking for support, or you meet them and they are not in the same glory that like we used to know them. So I think it's just a matter of trying to involve them, not only even in their lives, but also in the people that come after them. So if they make the right choices, the generations that come after them will also make the right choices. So I think it's just a matter of all of us agreeing that yes, there's a problem and we need to sort it out, and we need to have this conversation. And by we will see people, changing their minds, and more sportsmen coming into these investment classes and wanting to listen, wanting to take part, and being able to benefit with what comes with it.
Personally, how do you feel when you see, people that made a name for the country, people that, were in their prime, trying, everybody was looking at them when they're in their prime, coming out, seeking financial help. And everybody knows that, when they were in prime, when they were in their prime, they were making a lot of money.
I mean, it hurts. It hurts to see, people sportsmen and women who have made it big. They've gone to the world stage. They've done a lot of adventure with the sport, and then after they retire, then they are not even able to meet their needs, or they just live a common life. Yet they would be impacting the sport and impacting those young guys that are coming in. So it hurts to see that there's no deliberate. There's no deliberate move by even the sporting bodies to make sure that these young people, when they come in and they're playing the sport even at the world stage, and these guys make actually very good money. So how do we organize them from the bodies, that the bodies can be deliberate with financial planning as one of the assets that they offer their these young players, and that can trickle down all the way to even when they're in high school, they're playing rugby, they're in campus, they're playing rugby, so that they know that this is actually part and parcel of the sport is actually financial planning. And that is why we are very passionate about this space, to make sure that this, because we are the ones in the industry, we understand how investment works, so we are able to give them, we are able to complement what the sports bodies are doing, and be able to give this advice for free, so that they can be able to get, to make the right decisions across their careers.
Mm-hmm. You've said that at the moment you guys are in rugby, and I mean, how has the reception been? Trying to talk to these guys in rugby and telling them that the careers, as much as they may want to play for long, they are very short, and you need to invest you need to invest early. How has the reception been?
Yeah, I think the reception has been awesome, has been amazing, given the fact that this is an actual fact, that sports careers are very short, and these people actually make good money within that short career. And if they are not well organized, then within a very short time, within a few years, then you're stranded. There's someone who is running faster than you, someone who is pushing and kicking better than you. So if you're not well organized, then you have a problem when you retire. And I think based off that fact, then most people can see the fact, and they're very receptive. In fact, we've managed to speak to the legends, we've managed to speak to the current teams, and including the boards, and we are able, and all of them, the feeling across board is that this is actually the time to start having this conversation. So we are hoping that we will get all the kind of support that we need across the divide, no matter the sport. Any sport makes money, but we need to have this conversation so that we make sure that even the banks and the insurance companies, and all these other bodies that can come in to support, can come in and give these people proper training to help them see that they have a good retirement after their sporting years.
In Kenya, most sports per se, most people are semi-pro. It's not fully professional. And I'm sure when you approach these guys, they tell you, ile pesa nalipwa hata siwezi invest. What do you tell these guys?
I think there's no money you cannot invest. It's all a matter of planning. And if you have a goal, then somehow you're able to meet these goals if you are focused. And if most of them are semi-pro, then it means that if we have this conversation and we feel that people are not earning enough money to be able to even invest, then that is a call to the fraternity of sport to improve the game so people can earn more. So we have more reason to invest in the game so that people can earn more and are able to invest. Because I think actually that is a very good point. Most people in sport are not paid the way they're supposed to be paid. When you compare with other even neighboring countries, people are earning more money in Tanzania, people are earning more money in Uganda, and they're doing the same, they're playing the same sports. So I think this conversation will trickle down to the boards and other bodies that are involved with the sports, so that we are able to create an economy around sports, because there's a need for us to create business around sport, given the fact that it supports so many people and so many young people are involved in these sports. And if were it not for these sports, they would have nothing else to do. So I think it is high time that once we start these conversations, that it trickles down to us now talking about the entire industry and saying, how can we, make sports in the country an enterprise?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've spoken about rugby, and we've seen, in athletics, people that win races out there, they come back, invest in different areas in the country. But there is a big question when it comes to football. That is where the big question is. Why do you think most footballers do not, put their finances in the right place, or, invest in themselves, or do something that can help them after their career is done?
I think mostly, I'll go down to the same point. If these people receive the right training and advice before they go pro, then they go pro with the knowledge. So they know where to put back the money once they make this money. So I think it is important that we have started this conversation, and we are eager and willing to go into spaces where we find young sportsmen, whether in football, whether in rugby, whether in athletics, any kind of sport, and start having these conversations, because it takes a very short time before someone goes from semi-pro to pro. It takes a very short time. A scout will come, they'll locate, they'll see, you have the ability, and then you'll go out and you'll be trained and you'll become a pro. So it is important that they carry this information and this knowledge with them even before they become pro. So that makes it easy for them to make the right decisions once they're there.
But again, there is always that reluctant approach to investments. Most people probably feel that, because of previous experiences, they've seen probably the people that they played with previously being, extorted or duped. So there's that reluctant approach. How do you deal with that?
I think that's a good point. But mostly how you deal with that is making sure that the structures are actually structures that can work. And this will come in with partnerships, all right? So if we have investment options that are backed by regulators, for instance, if you're asking a sportsman to invest in money market in an institution that is regulated, that they're sure their money will not go anywhere. Okay, they'll get their return deservedly. Okay, so it is just a matter of us coming together and ironing out and making sure where people can be duped, how do we seal those loopholes, so that the advice we are giving, if they take the advice and they go out and buy something or invest in something, that at the end of the day they will not be duped. So I think it's just opening up the conversation, telling them what decisions they need to make, how they carry out due diligence when they are doing the investments. So we give them all that training and all that talk, so that they are able to understand, when I'm investing, these are the areas I need to look at, so that I make sure my investment does not go down the drain.
And finally, where are you taking this exercise to now that you're in rugby? Where else?
I think after rugby, mostly we'll go into football. We're also very passionate about football. When you look across the globe, football is actually a big deal. And even here in the country, when you look at the football landscape, there's a lot of activities that happen in football, but it is time that we have this conversation, so that we create the need for people to actually look at football differently, look at it as a business, not only a sport, because if other people are making money through football, players are making good money, they're getting good offers, because it hurts when you have, say a star player in Gor Mahia who cannot even appear in a billboard for a local bread company, you understand? So if we are able to structure these people well, and also allow them to understand that they are actually brands themselves, and they carry themselves as such, and the entire industry is there to support, including ourselves and other partners that we have, then I think in a very short while we will see a change in football, and also that would affect also other sports.
So we take a short break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at what is happening in the English Premier League. A number of matches on